So let's say this is our KNU1 table. Now, don't you see it is also what? It is also list. It is also a list, right? It is also a report of data. But the way we generated report just now we generated one report, right? Slash. Remember, if I just run this for India, this is also generating what? This is also a report. Very good. This is but this is a classical report, right? It doesn't look user friendly. It doesn't look user appealing, right? The look and feel is not that good for this report. It's like very rigid report, the columns, data, and everything. And this is also a kind of report only, right? But it looks better, right? You have functions automatically. You can do what? You can just sort it. Let's say you want to sort it this way. You want to sort it upside down, whatever it is. Ascending, descending. If you want to calculate, if you want to apply filter, you can apply the filter here. You can calculate the sum of the numerical columns. Okay, just this sum. Do you see this sum button? Yes. You can export this data to Excel. You can send this as an email. See, too many options actually here. You can select them, unselect everything. Getting it? So these options are not available in the classical report. Then what is this type of report? This is also a report. Can we not generate this report for our example? Should we not generate report like this for our requirements? Yes, because if you give or generate these types of reports for your report output also, then it will be better than classical report. So what is this type of report? This type of report is called as ALV, which stands for ABAP list viewer, ALV. And this is very important because this is the format let's say even senior consultants. Yes, please. Yeah, types of function models. I told you that is about theory actually. So we'll upload the document for that as well. Thanks for reminding me. We'll upload the study material for that as well. And we'll upload some assignments. You can follow those steps and create. And if you still face problem, then you can ask the questions. Okay. All right. So I was telling you ALV. What does ALV stand for? This type of report is called as what? This is ALV report. Remember, I went here, user parameters, and I showed it was previously like this. I changed it to ALV grid display. So this particular report is what? It is ALV grid report. The output format is in the ALV grid. So this is called as what? ALV. ALV stands for ABAP list viewer. What is the advantage of ALV over normal report? It provides us ready to use functions such as sorting up down function modules. Sorting up means sorting ascending, sorting descending, sum, filter, spreadsheet. You can convert the data into a spreadsheet. All these are what? Ready to use functions for the output, and even the output is well aligned. You can play with the output also. So if the data is not visible, you can extend the length like this. Can you do that with a classical output? Is there any way you can extend it? No, there's no way you can play with this. So it is what? It is very much user friendly. Okay, it is very much user friendly. So you can also create a report like this using a technique called ALV. So what are the advantages of ALV? It provides ready to use functions for the output list. Okay. All right. So let us quickly see what exactly the ALV is. So we'll start with this topic called ALV, ABAP list viewer. Okay, you will understand what is control framework, what is ALV grid, what is event based functionality. Okay, there are events for ALV also. We'll see that as well. Okay, the common features of a report are column alignment, sorting, filtering, subtotals, totals, etc. That's what I told you, right? So what are the examples of ready to use functions? The ready to use function, what are the examples? If you just see the examples, it provides you what? Sorting, right? So inbuilt sorting is provided. You can sort in ascending, descending, such as sorting. Then you have what? Filtering, very important function actually. This one is filter. Okay, you can filter the data. Then you can do what? You can do the totals. You can send what? You can convert the data to spreadsheets. Spreadsheets, you can convert the data to spreadsheets. Then in spreadsheet you can convert the data and send it as an email. Like lot many functions actually, not just these. I'm just listing out few of them. So you have these many functions available to you. What is saying like this? Okay, so you can column alignment. Column alignment, you can do what? Align the column, you can sort, you can apply filter, you can do subtotals, you can do totals, and etc. To implement these, if you have to do this by coding, it will be take a lot of logic actually. If we know that to sort a report based on just one column, you will have to do what? You will have to use first sort itab by so and so field name, then it will be sorted based on that field name. But you see, user may select any column and user may go for any option of these, ascending, descending. So just imagine you will have to apply that logic on all the columns. So if there are 200 columns, you will have to apply that particular logic based on user action. You will have to sort it. Can you imagine? You'll have to, if you have to achieve this by your own code, you'll have to write a lot of code. So to implement these, a lot of coding and logic is to be put, right? Just to apply these things, sorting, filtering, subtotals, totals. To avoid that, because SAP knows, like, SAP knows that, these things may be used by hundreds of users, and this is the common requirement. If you want to generate a report, these are the basic minimum requirement that everybody would want in the report, right? So SAP did what? SAP, to avoid that, SAP has given something called as ALV. They said we'll provide you these as inbuilt function and we'll call that kind of report as ALV, ABAP list viewer. So ABAP list viewer is what? It's a grid control used for displaying lists. It's a tool that provides common list operation as generic functions. So right, all these functions are provided what? As generic functions for the report actually. For any report you would need these things. So these things have been given as generic functions. So every time you want to generate a report as ALV report, you would get these things as inbuilt functions or ready to use functions. The grid control itself consists of a toolbar. So you see there's a toolbar coming in which lets you play with this actually. This toolbar is a part of the ALV report only. So this toolbar lets you play with the output list. Okay, and this toolbar is part of grid control. A title and the output table displayed in a grid control. The user has control over the look of the grid. We'll understand is how you can create your own ALV list. You can decide the sequence of column of your own. Let's say first column should be Kunar, second should be this, third should be this. That also we need to tell to the report actually. So before you show any output, what are the basic things that you need to consider? Let's say you want to generate a report. Okay, in the let's say in the format of rows and columns. So what will you do? You will first decide the sequence of columns, right? Exactly. So when you actually declare a table also, you do what? For output also you define, let's say when you declare user type, sorry, data type by user. So what you do there, you actually create local data type by defining columns, right? Sequence of columns. Like first column will be employee ID, second column will be employee name, third column will be this, fourth column will be this. So like that you are doing what? You are defining the sequence of column and the length or the type for each column, obviously, right? So employee ID and first name may not have same type or length. Getting it? So that is what you do actually. Let me change the color for these. Alternate, I'll make it. So let's say this is what you want to generate as a report. Okay, rows and columns. Just consider this as rows and columns. So for you to generate this report, you need what? You need to provide the sequence of column, right? This should be first, let's say employee ID, then employee name should be second, employee department, and employee project name, whatever it is, then other details, phone number, address, city, whatever it is. So you are doing what? To generate a report, you are defining what? The sequence of column. And when you generate ALV report also, you need to define the sequence of column. Actually, we'll learn this. Okay. So, okay, this is not useful. So what are the important features of the ALV report? We can navigate within the list. Okay. When you double click on a list, it generates you generates you interactive list also. Sorting in ascending and descending order is possible. Selecting and deselecting rows is also possible. I'll show you practically everything parallelly. Give me a second. Okay, so let me go to the same one. Now I'll see another tables data. So let's say vendor master, run this. So this is also being generated. Now we cannot select this single individual record or just press Control and multiple records for the classical report. Can we? No, we do not have any option of interaction with the report unless double click and let's say click and then button. Otherwise, no interactive options like this. So we can select a record, can select and deselect rows. We can define exceptions. We'll see that. We can set and delete the filters. Where do we do that? Filters. Let's say I want to generate this. I want to see the records only for India. Okay, so I will just see India. So all the records are only for now India because I have applied what? Filter. How to apply it? Select the column and this button. Filter. Set filter. I want to change it. I want to see the customers from US. Let's say US. So only these many customers from US. Sorry, vendors. Okay. So you can delete it simply. Gone. So it's now showing the filters sorry date records for all. So you can do what? Set and delete the filters. We can display and delete sums. Okay, for that we need to have what? Some field with numbers that we can do the addition for. Let me see if there's any number. Does it apply? It will not apply on this. So this is the button. You can do it because it is not number, actually it is num text, so it will not apply on this. But if you have to, just select the number column and then press this button, it will give you the sum for that particular column. So you can create subtotals also, and we can decide what the column width also. So you can just increase the column width as soon for whichever column you want to increase, for whichever column you want to decrease, you can do that very well. All these options are the features that are provided as inbuilt by ALV. Okay, so there are three types of ALV reports: simple ALV report, blocked ALV report, and hierarchical ALV report. And most commonly used ALV report is simple one. So we'll check. We'll learn more about simple report only. So blocked and hierarchical also. There are these types of ALV reports also. Okay. Now let us see what is simple. Now so far you must have understood that these are what the things that we see for an ALV, like providing buttons for subtotal, buttons for sorting, buttons for these, button for that. These are what? These are general purpose, right? General purpose means used by general purpose functions for an ALV are provided by grid control itself. So there is grid control. That grid control provides us the inbuilt functions automatically. Now just we have learned, let's say we have learned only in last 2 days, we have learned if you want to give, if you want to make the functionality reusable globally, you should keep that functionality inside the function modules. Got it? If you want to make the functionalities reusable again and again by users or developers or SAP users, then you will do what? You will place that functionality in the function module. Now I understand that ALV report is a kind of a report which is a commonly used type of functionality, right? And if I place the functionality of generating a report in a function module, then it will be much easier for the developers to just call the function module and reuse that functionality. That is why SAP has done what? ALV reports are generated using standard function modules. Remember this, because not it has done your, it has brought your job to a very easy level. Okay, you have to just reuse the function modules. SAP has already created the function modules for us. It is very easy to generate ALV report, guys, very easy. Okay, I'll show you. So SAP has got what? There are some function modules which will enable to produce the above reports without much effort. You don't have to place the button, you don't have to write the function, but let's say code for how to respond to a particular button. Nothing like that you have to do. Nothing like that. You don't have to even decide the should the column be allowed for width and let's say extension or not, this and that. Like too many things. All these are what? All these are the functionality, these features, whatever features we have seen, all these are what? The features of ALV grid control. And if you are using the standard function modules provided by SAP for generating ALV report, those functionalities will already be usable for your report. All the definitions of the list tables, structures and constants are declared in type pool sliss. Okay, so there's a type pool called sliss. This type pool is what? Type pool is what? Type pool is nothing but the collection of types, type declaration. The way we have local types, right, in the program, types begin of, types this, types that. So if you want to create a global declaration for all these types, you have something called as type pool. We have this in the SE11 actually, type pool. All right, so like that for ALV report we have what? Sliss as a type pool. We'll see it, okay, when we'll write the program, we'll see what is sliss. But remember that this is important. So there are ready-made function modules that you need to remember the name. Okay, you have to remember the names of these function modules. These are important actually. And as a fresher, if you are applying for the job as a fresher, interviewer may ask you the list of function modules to be used for generating ALV report. A simple question can be, can you please tell me the list of function modules for generating ALV report? Okay, so these are the function modules. So first function module is, it always starts with this. Remember this, reuse ALV. Okay, reuse ALV. So reuse underscore ALV underscore field catalog underscore merge. This is one function module. Reuse ALV underscore list underscore display. Reuse LNV underscore grid underscore display. So these are the three function modules, but there are few more we'll learn gradually. Now I'll show you the difference between two things, list and grid. There are two types of output options available in the ALV also. It's getting timed out again and again. So list and grid. So the one I shown you, like with the colors and all, is called as grid one. We'll see the list one also. Now, so simple ALV, reuse ALV field catalog merge. This is the first function module, right? for generating the simple ALV report. So before I do that, I'll tell you. So ALV reports are generated using standard function modules. What are those standard function modules? They are reuse underscore ALV underscore field catalog underscore merge. This is one function module. Okay, what is the other one? Reuse underscore ALV underscore list underscore display. So one is list display, the other one is grid display, and we have few other also. We'll see it when we'll learn more about the topic. Okay, so these three function modules are basically used for generating simple ALV report, and there is a difference between list output and grid output. I'll show you. Now why did I come here is because I wanted to explain you this part. Now, as I told you, when you have to generate an ALV report using standard function modules, you just have to tell what data is to be shown. As simple as that. You will bring the internal data into internal table, and you will just pass that to function module, and you will say, I please show this data in the list format. Please show this data in the grid format. So if you want to show the data in list format, you will use this function module. If you want to show the data in grid format, you will show in this format. But as I told you, to generate or to show the output, you would at least need what? You would at least need the sequence of columns, the headings of the columns, right? Because the data, when you see, if you see the data inside the internal table, it will not have what? Headers. It will not have headers. Do you want me to show it once? If you just observe one thing, very simple thing, very basic observation. That is why we were not getting the headings for the columns in the list report. If you just run the same report we just saw, let's say India, is it generating any headers, any headings for this? What is this column for? No, we have not given anything, right? What is this column for? What is this column for? What is this column? No headings, right? Because we did not give. And why it is not available? Because when we get the data in the internal table, let us see here, when we get the data in the internal table, we do not get the headings for the column. See, these mandate kunar, these are like coming from the table, but when you show the output, there's no header here. So for generating the report, you would need what? You would need the column headings, the sequence of column, the column positions, column position, right? First column should be employee ID, though the employee name will be maybe second column in the table, but you may want to display it on the fourth position. So that also you can do using ALV output. So what are the things important to show any output as a report? You need what? Column headings, right? Data is anyway going to be shown in the format, list format. So column headings, then what? Column positions, sometimes what? Column width. You can decide the column width also. Sometimes you may have to decide the column width. So if you have to give these things, you are having an option of creating a field catalog. What is a field catalog? The field catalog decides the sequence of column headings in a way like look and feel of the output. Okay, the field catalog is what? Field catalog is nothing but, let me show you in the report. So let's say this is the report. This report, this is what the first column name is. I'll change it to list. This is what I wanted to show you, how it is different in the list. See, list comes this way. This is also like well aligned, right? At least better than the classic one. It also has got these options, but see, the options are not as much as for grid, but this is also like better than what we used to get in the classical report. So this is list report and the other one was grid report. So see, it has got what? Column headings here. Then it has got what? The column position. The first column is this, second is this, third is this, and the width also for each one. And there are too many things, like first column should be colored in so and so way, second column should be colored as yellow. So if you want to also do such certain things for your output, you have to do all of these things in the field catalog. So field catalog is what? Field catalog decides the column headings, column positions, column width, and color, whatever required things. So these things are done with the field catalog. And to generate field catalog also, you have one function module. The function module name is reused ALV field catalog merge. Okay, so using this function module, you will create field catalog. And remember one point: to generate an ALV report, field catalog is a mandatory parameter. So we'll have to pass the field catalog to this or this. If you are using, if you wanted to show output in list format, so you will use this. For grid, you will use this. So you use either of these, you have to pass what? Field catalog. So before you want to show the output in the ALV format, you must create the field catalog and then pass the field catalog to the function module along with the data. So you have data in itab, let's say, and you have field catalog. So data, and in what format should the data be shown? If these two things are given to these function modules, then they will generate you the output. As simple as that. So as I tried to explain you the format of data and the data itself, that will decide the ALV output.